we might be having a board takeover incoming. Last episode, we began the youth to goal, taking newly promoted Toulouse to a 9th place finish.
That's class!
The challenge is to only sign players in their teenage years and not to use any players 30 or above. And the objective is to develop this young, hopefully cheaper side to eventual glory while selling most experienced players for a maximum price to help the finances along the way. And looking at the first team, we have 3 players aged 28, so we are all good in terms of players being too old this season. So let's take a look at some of the incoming players in the summer. And I know you guys will like this one. I've seen you put them in the comments a lot. Oscar Gluck, 19-year-old, fantastic centre attacking midfielder, replacing the loan signing of Vasco Souza last season, and only costing £2.6 million. But we spend a whole £7.5 million on another midfielder, Desiree Doué, just 18 years old, and he just looks fantastic with great potential. And it weakens his former club and our arch rivals, Rennes.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
Across the summer, we also released 2 players who are either 30 or will be during this season to prevent us from ever using them. And we improved our training facilities, something we promised Oscar when he signed, but it seems it wasn't good enough for him. Our finances are fairly healthy, although we do have £27 million still to pay in debts.
What?
First game of the season is against PSG.
No.
And to fight Mbappe and the champions, both new signings start, as well as Reece Healy up front. And they spent £100 million in the summer. So remember to make sure you smash that subscribe button and maybe even turn on the notification bell so you don't miss us beat and eventually dominate PSG. Just not on this day anyway. Luckily, new boy Gluck's banger turned the result around and the next game against Lorient. The following game against Nantes and De Linga opened the scoring from an acute angle. And that man Oscar Gluck won the ball back brilliantly, received it back and hit another corker into the keeper's breadbasket. Last season, signing Nico Rack, I've kept playing for the second team as I'd much rather him play games than sat on the bench, although he will still feature. And next up, we played Lens and lost 1-0.
Cheers, Jeff.
We were so hot and cold in September, first beating Saint Etienne 3-0, to getting absolutely walloped by Montpellier. Ended it with a 2-1 win. And it sat us higher than I thought in 6th place, and Mbappe, by the way, putting up shocking numbers, only 6 goals in 7 games.
He is atrocious, isn't he?
An away trip to Reims started well when De Linga turned in the rebound in the 2nd minute. And I bet the home side felt hard done by when the second was also put in after 2 box previously before the ball dropped to Oscar Gluck. They did get one back, but it was too late and we held on for the win. In the following match, we hosted Clermont and De Linga scored the opener once again. But literally a minute later and the away team had already equalised. And in the second half, we couldn't muster much at all. And Barcelo scored his second and the winner for Clermont. I'm not gonna lie to you, this next one was tough to take. We lost 4-2 to Rennes.
You're joking.
And it gets worse. We also lost to Monaco and then Marseille. We then took a 2-1 lead against Lille, but still lost 3-2. That's 5 losses in a row, 0 points from an available 15. And yet we are still in 11th place. And how do we react to this? We went out and we destroyed Troyes 6-0, with De Linga scoring a hat-trick and a very good one at that, with Reece Healy also picking up 2 goals himself, and these two seem to have spared up a good relationship up front, with Healy also getting 2 assists and man of the match with a 10 out of 10 performance. And then we lost to Nice and ruined all of that momentum, which led to reports that the owner of Toulouse could be looking to step down, and the takeover rumours continued on a weekly basis. We ended December drawing to Strasbourg and winning our cup tie with a very difficult looking January ahead. Speaking of which, it was time to search for the end of contract targets, and I found this incredible new gen in Spain, simply through attribute searching, which I have shown how to do before on previous videos, but for the sake of the comment section, I'll show you once again. Write this down, simply pick 3 or 4 different attributes, set your age limit if you're looking for youth prospects, and there he is at the bottom of the searches, a player my scouts would never have found. At the same club, there was a class centre-back as well, which I can show you could also be found through attribute search, and if you search for 3 very common centre-back attributes in bravery, jump and reach, and tackling, 16-year-old Ivan. I'm also questioning whether it could be time to look at selling Reece Healy. I know I've just been praising him, but for youth to gold's sake, he is 29. De Linga is clearly our star striker, and we want to start bringing through the next generation. and he can't really be used when he's 30 anyway. With our youth academy player Richard Vincent in mind too, and another future transfer, Julian Rijkaard, who has just agreed to join us at the end of the season on a free transfer, meaning De Linge now has a fellow Dutchman joining him up there soon.
Get in!
January included some positives on the pitch like the cup win. Rhys Healey heard us talking about him ditching the old fella and scored this audacious header and then a tap in against Lyon. Unfortunately, that happened in a 3-2 loss, so it counted for nothing. He did then set up 2 of De Linge's 3 goals against Montpellier in a 6-1 win where De Linge claimed the match ball within 25 minutes and we went in at halftime 4-0 up. And this is the game right before we played PSG, so there was no better time for us to come into form, because you know you have to subscribe so you do not miss us truly embarrassed PSG. Well, at least one day anyway.
Oh! Come on!
Hey, we are still in 10th though, but Mbappe has really started turning it on again, and has 23 goals by the game week 19. We then went through the 11th round of the Coupe de France, but was eliminated on penalties in the quarter-final by a team in the 2nd division. Poor defending cost us in a home defeat to Lens after coming 2-0 down to make it 2-2. After going 1-0 up against Lorient, we threw those points away as well. Luckily against Marseille, Oscar Gluck was on hand to score both goals in a 2-0 win, where the second was assisted by first season signing Nico Rack, covering in that right back position. He's made 10 appearances for the first team so far this season, but played many more games for the second team and is developing quite nicely. March was almost perfect, winning our first game 1-0 through De Linge's finish. Oscar Gluck then scored 2 goals, both from cutbacks against Reims, and both set up from the strikers De Linge and Healey, who also bagged himself a goal as well. All 3 attacking forces combined to score 6 in a fantastic away win against Clermont. So why wasn't this a perfect March? Because we lost to bloody Rennes.
Damn it, Carl!
We also had another good intake around this time, but with only one standout player being this 5-star potential attacking midfielder with good technical skills and a fairly professional personality. Speaking of good potential, a lot of you mentioned in the comments to get Oscar Gluck, and boy were you right. He's developed amazingly well, played fantastic for us, and his value has already shot up to 60 to 70 million already. De Linge also deserves a shout out too for his 27 goals in 30 games so far this season. A real battle happened next in Monaco as Minamino squeezed in the first goal. We equalised from a corner before Ben Yedder put Monaco ahead from the spot going into half-time. Rhys Healey levelled up the scores once again for us in the 75th minute. But straight from kick-off, when you're most vulnerable, Volland was there to score the winner. Rhys Healey's brace helped us take all 3 points in an away trip, where he even scored the winner in the 90th minute, with Branko van den Boomen also scoring during this time. But after going 2-0 down to Lille, we fought back and saved us a point. And then we drew 0-0 to Saint-Etienne with their English goalkeeper Etienne Green winning man of the match. Some good performances and development from Desiree Doué recently too, and his value is shot up. It could be a short stay for Oscar Gluck, as he's already asking to leave the club to play with better players.
We cannot replace him. We cannot.
But future Luke will have to deal with that one, because right now on the pitch, Nice, who are second, have also scored in the 8th minute. But just 10 minutes later, from a rebound, De Linge appears and pops it into the net. And second half, De Linge caps off his man of the match performance with an assist to fellow strike partner Rhys Healey to win the game 2-1. I do love a back-to-back, and not only did we get back-to-back win streaks, beating Strasbourg as well, but De Linge put in a man of the match performance yet again, scoring a hat-trick yet again, and assisting his English strike partner Healey to get his goal, which made it 4-0 and sent Toulouse fans home with beaming smiles. But we couldn't find the net against Lyon, unfortunately, despite us having 17 shots. And in the final game of the season, De Linge made it 3 man of the matches in 4 games with another brace and an assist against Nantes in a very tight game. We found ourselves 2-0 down and 3-2 down in a comeback to win 4-3. Leaving us in just the top half of the league in 9th place, and De Linge second in the goals with just 29 in 34 games, only 18 goals behind Mbappe. But my question to you involves this man, Oscar Gluck. So with the takeover probably not going to happen this season, hypothetically, if we received a big offer for Oscar Gluck, given the fact that he wants to leave, do we cash in now or do we keep hold of him, seeing as he is our best player? I want you to let me know your opinions, and if the next episode is up, I'll put it up on the screen right now. Thank you very much.